Hi, so I'm going to talk a little bit today about how to make photos matte looked. There are basically three types of mattes that are commonly used right now. The first type is one that is sort of hazy, and it's basically a matte where, well, actually, I'm going to show you, I have actually a preset that does the three types of mattes that I'm going to talk about. So this is the hazy matte. It is got a little bit of haze to it. It's white haze. The blacks are actually not black anymore. They're a gray color, and it's kind of hazy. The second one is the blacks being crushed, but it's not hazy anymore. So the difference there is, I think you can see it best here, between hazy and not hazy. It's the difference between the the dehaze slider and the non-dehaze slider, right? And the third type is one where you are adding color into the blacks. It's actually a form of split toning, but it's done a little bit differently. And because you're also making those blacks flatter, it looks a little bit different. So those are three styles of mattes that you can go with. Now, of course, you can buy presets that have those. I just showed you those using a preset. And I actually do myself have a collection of presets that are by Pretty Presets, where every single one of them is a matte effect. And so I can actually go through and choose, exactly what kind of matte I want if I want to use the preset. However, oftentimes I don't use presets. I have a collection of them because other people tell me about them, but then I want to go in and just do it myself. So I'm going to show you how to do it yourself as well, so we don't have to rely on presets. I am just going to go back here and put the retro preset, the blue one, back onto this shot so that we can see it in a minute. All right, so here's my base shot, and I'm going to show you how to do the three most common presets, those three common presets: the hazier one, the blacks where they're crushed and not hazy, and then the colored one. And you can achieve all of these looks using the tone curve in Lightroom, or you can use you can actually do it in Photoshop as well, which I will get into in a second. So first off with Lightroom, here's my image, and if I want to do that haze effect, really all you need to do is grab this black point on your tone curve. Now you need to make sure that you have the point button selected. You don't want this one where it gives you these, you don't want this one. You want the one where it actually just gives you a point on a curve, okay? So if it's not looking like this, make sure you click this button down here. So you're going to grab this point and just slide it up. And you can see that when, I dropped it. It's a little bit fussy to do this because you're trying to keep it near the edge, but if you go this way, it will drop back down to the neutral point. All right, so we're going to bring this up. And you can see that what that does is it gives you that haze look. Now, if that's not quite what you want to do, you can also add a second point nearby and just bring that down a little bit. And that's basically what that first preset looked like, the hazy preset, which is literally just bringing this black point up so that the things that were black in your photo are now actually a lighter color gray. Now, the next preset, the one that's not hazy, is actually very similar. You do it very similarly, except this time we're going to put a control point. I like putting mine about halfway-ish between shadow line and the black line. And then you're going to bring this black point up, and you don't do that though. If you put an extra point in your curve, you can get rid of it just by right-clicking. Sometimes it's easier for me just to hit redo. So this is what you want your curve to look like to get that non-hazy effect. So you want to have the point going straight across. 90-degree angle here is important. And you can move this point up and down the line for whatever effect you want. So if we bring it way up, you can see that it starts to get hazy. If you leave it on the tone curve line and having it going straight across, then you don't get the haze. And that's really the trick to this. You can actually bring it down a little bit below if you want to increase the contrast a bit as well. And so that sort of gets you pretty much where that second preset was, where the blacks are hazy, but we still have a lot of detail in the image. And so straight across is your friend here. Again, you can move this around, wherever you want. You have a lot of flexibility with trying to figure out where you want that to be. But the basic premise here is that the line goes straight across. The black point is straight across. All right, so that is how you do that curve. And if I was actually editing it, I think I would leave it about there. All right. And now we'll do the colored one. Now, the colored one is actually still going to use the tone curve for the majority of it. But what we're going to do is go here to where it says channel. And instead of just using the RGB channel, we're going to use the blue channel. And we're going to do the exact same thing we just did with the black point to get the straight across, to get the black non-hazy effect. We're going to do the same thing, except this time we're doing it just on the blue channel. And so anything that is dark and has blue tones in it will get that effect. And that is pretty much how that one works. Okay, so that's pretty much where I will leave this shot. So that gives us the blue colored matte effect, the black where the blacks are flattened without it being hazy, and the hazy effect where the blacks are flattened as well, but there's also this haze going on over the whole image. I will actually mention that also in Lightroom, you can add some of the haze effect by using the dehaze slider as well. I don't like it as much because it is making haze on the highlights first, and when you do it with the tone curve, you're doing it on the shadows first, and so I don't know, I think it looks nicer using the tone curve. However, you can add a little bit of haze this way if you want to make it slightly hazier than what you can do here. Like if I put both of these on here, you can see that I can bring the haze level up a little bit more. So it's something that you can play with. It's definitely there. All right, so the three looks. So there is the hazy look, there is the flat black look, and there is the blue black look. And this is actually the preset that I have for the blue black. It's actually changed some of my other colors, so I don't really like that as much. There we go. All right, now, second half of my video, I am going to talk about how to do this in Photoshop.